Hello everyone. Today we are going to study from our GK Planet book, lesson number 10, Authors of Europe, on page 18 and 19. Before starting with the chapter, let's discuss some difficult words. First one is heard, to listen. Next one is author, a writer of a book, article, or document. Next one is widely, by many people or in many places. Next one is musketeer, a soldier who carried a gun with a long barrel. Next one is physician, a person who practiced medicine. Next one is created, bring into existence. Next one is fictional, means imaginary. Next is creator, a person that brings something into existence. Next one is translated, express the words or text in another language. Next one is novelist, a writer of novels. Next is pride, the belief that you are better or important than others. And the last one is prejudice, harm or injury from some action or judgment. Students, what do you mean by an author? An author is a person who writes a book, article, or a document. As we are living in India, let's discuss some famous authors of India. First one is Rabindranath Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore, who composed the national anthem of India, was the first Indian and also the first Asian to be awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature. One of his famous books is Gitanjali, which is a collection of 103 English poems in which 53 poems are from Bengali Gitanjali as well as 50 other poems from his other works. Next one is R.K. Narayan. R.K. Narayan was an Indian writer most famous for his work Malgudi Days. It is a collection of 32 short stories set in a fictional town of Malgudi in south of India. A few of the stories in the book were included in the Malgudi Days television series. He was nominated for the Nobel Prize in Literature several times but never won the honor. Next one is Amrita Pritam. Amrita Pritam was a courageous woman who wrote about pre-partition era. She suffered through tough times during the partition of India, which influenced her to write the Punjabi novel Pinjar, which describes the helplessness of women during that era. The novel later was made into a Bollywood movie which was a hit throughout the nation. Next one is Khushwant Singh. He was an Indian author, lawyer, journalist, and politician. His experience in the 1947 partition of India inspired him to write Train to Pakistan in 1956, which became his well known novel. In 2007, he was awarded the Padma Vibhushan, the second highest civilian award in India. And the last one is Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond is an Indian author of British descent. He is considered to be an icon among Indian writers and children's authors and a top novelist. He has written over 500 short stories, essays, and novels, including The Blue Umbrella, Funny Side Up, A Flight of Pigeons, and more than 50 books for children. He has won many awards like Padma Shri in 1999 and Padma Bhushan in 2014. Let's start with the reading. I am sure you have heard about books like Treasure Island, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, etc. Do you know the author of these books? Let's find out. In this chapter, the boy is discussing about some famous authors of Europe. He is talking about some famous books like Treasure Island, written by Robert Louis Stevenson. Next one is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, written by Roald Dahl. And the last, Adventures of Tom Sawyer, is written by Mark Twain. All of them belongs to Europe. Now let's discuss about some more famous authors of Europe. First one is Alexandre Dumas. Alexandre Dumas was one of the most widely read French authors. His works has been translated into many languages. His famous works include The Three Musketeers. The Three Musketeers theme of friendship between four young gentlemen devoted to the king. Their friendship allows them to combine forces and defeat evil powers. His novels has been adapted since the early 20th century into nearly 200 movies. Next is Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was a British writer and a former physician. He is known all over the world as the creator of one of the most famous fictional characters in English literature, the master detective Sherlock Holmes. He was the originator of modern detective literature. He wrote 4 novels and 56 stories with Sherlock Holmes, a brilliant London based detective famous for his skills to solve cases. He became one of the best paid authors of his time. Next one is Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens was a British novelist, journalist, and editor who wrote Oliver Twist, which is one of his best known fictional characters. The Oliver Twist novel is based on the classic theme of good over evil. He wrote 15 novels and many short stories, essays, and articles. His novels and short stories are still widely read today. Next one is Miguel de Cervantes. Miguel de Cervantes was a Spanish writer widely regarded as the greatest writer in the Spanish language. He is best known for Don Quixote, a classic of Western literature published in 2 parts between 1605 and 1616, sometimes regarded the first modern novel and the most influential work of fiction ever written. It is the most translated book in the world after the Bible. And the last one is Jane Austen. Jane Austen was an English novelist known for her 6 major novels, which comment upon the British at the end of 18th century. She wrote about the dependence of women through the famous book Pride and Prejudice. The popularity of her work can be seen through many films and TV adaptations of Pride and Prejudice. Now, let's recall what we have done. First one is Alexandre Dumas, one of the most widely read French authors whose famous works include The Three Musketeers. Next is Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, a British writer and a former physician who created the famous character Sherlock Holmes. Next one is Charles Dickens. Oliver Twist is one of this famous writer's best known fictional characters. Next one is Miguel de Cervantes, a Spanish writer who was the creator of Don Quixote, which is the most translated book in the world after the Bible. And the last one is Jane Austen, an English novelist known for her six major novels that include the famous book Pride and Prejudice. Students, now we have identified some famous authors of Europe. So, solve the exercise given in the book and learn it. Do the related worksheet given in the SNAP homework. Thank you.